Good morning, dear students. Welcome back to online classes. In this video, we will discuss law of demand, its assumptions and exceptions. We will also discuss the reasons behind the negative relationship between price and quantity demanded, that is, why the demand curve is downward sloping. Let us discuss law of demand. And the statement of the law is, other things remaining constant, there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded of a commodity. That is, with the increase in the price of commodity, the demand for the commodity decreases, and with the decrease in the price of the commodity, the demand for that commodity increases. We can explain it with the help of schedule and diagram. You can see on your screen, when price of wheat per kg it is 20, the quantity demand of wheat it is 6 kgs. When price increases from 20 to 30, that is increase in price, the quantity demanded decreases from 6 to 5, and further increase in price from 30 to 40, the quantity demanded decreases from 5 to 4 kgs, and when the price is 50, the quantity demanded is 3. So in this schedule, with the increase in price, the demand for the commodity decreases. When we plot this schedule, we will get the demand curve, which is downward sloping demand curve. Point A, point B, point C, point F on the demand curve. These points shows different quantities of a commodity demanded on different possible prices. When the price changes from 20 to 30, demand decreases from 6 to 5, and 30 when it changes from 30 to 40, it decreases from 5 to 4. When it further increases from 40 to 50, it decreases from 4 to 3. Assumptions of the law. As we know, the statement of the law is, other things remaining constant. There is inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. What are those other things? I have written the demand function one more time here, and P of X. I have highlighted this P of X because in law of demand we are dealing with the relationship between price and quantity demand only, and all other determinants are constant, and these are the other things. These other determinants are the other things which remains constant. The first assumption is, the price of related goods remains the same. There is no change in price of related goods. The income of consumer remains unchanged. No change in income of the consumer. Taste and preferences of the consumer remains the same. There is no change in the taste and preferences of the consumer. Future expectations does not change. There is no change about the future expectations of the price. And all the units of the good are homogeneous units. What does that mean? There is no change in quality or taste of the different units of commodity. And sometimes a consumer is ready to pay high prices for quality products, for quality units. So if the quality of the commodity changes, a consumer can be ready to pay higher prices. Commodity should be a normal good. So what is a normal good? I already told you in previous video that normal goods are those goods in which income effect is positive. That means with the increase in income, the demand for the commodity increase. And inferior goods are those goods in which income effect is negative. That is, with the increase in income, the demand for inferior goods decreases. These are the assumptions of the law, and if there is any change in these determinants, then law of demand will not hold good. Let us discuss now the exceptions to the law of demand. First is articles of distinction. Articles of distinction are those goods which are purchased only because of their high price. This was seen by Professor Veblen. So these are also known as Veblen goods. People purchase these goods to show their status in the society for show off purposes. Let us take an example of gold jewelry, diamond jewelry. Despite of high price, people are purchasing. Let us take an example of luxury cars. Despite of high price, people are still purchasing these goods. Second is Giffen goods. I already told you about the normal goods and inferior goods. Normal goods are those goods in which income effect is positive, and inferior goods are those goods in which income effect is negative. And Giffen goods are special type of inferior goods in which there is high negative income effect, and as a result of which, when the price of such commodities falls, their demand also falls. This is known as Giffen paradox. This was seen by Professor Giffen. That is why these goods are known as Giffen goods, and this is known as Giffen paradox. This was seen by Professor Giffen among the poor people. When their income decrease, they purchase more of bread. They demand more of bread because they don't have enough money to purchase high quality food. Third, irrational judgment. That means sometimes people feel that the commodity, the goods with high price, they are quality goods, and they purchase those goods because of their high price. They think that the quality of these goods is good. So these are the exceptions to the law of demand. Now, what are the reasons behind the downward slope of demand curve, or we can say what are the reasons behind the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded? First is law of diminishing marginal utility. We are going to discuss this law later, but first of all you should know what is law of diminishing marginal utility. The statement of the law is, as a consumer consumes more and more units of a commodity, the utility or satisfaction derived from every additional unit declines. Simple example: when you are thirsty, when you drink first glass of water, then you will get more satisfaction. Then when you drink second glass of water, it will provide you less satisfaction, and if you go for the third, it will provide less satisfaction. So more you consume, less satisfaction you will get from every additional unit. So law of diminishing marginal utility: a consumer is willing to purchase more and more when the price charged for every additional unit declines, because the satisfaction derived from every additional unit decreases. Then a consumer will be ready to purchase more and more units only when the price of these additional units declines, when the price decreases. Second, income effect. With the change in price, there are two effects. One is income effect and another is substitution effect. For example, if the price of a commodity increases, that will decrease the purchasing power of a consumer, that is income effect, that is income will decrease, and at the same time that commodity will become costlier, so people will substitute other commodity instead of that commodity. So that is substitution effect. So because of change in price, remember this thing, due to change in price there are two effects. Income effect, with the, let us take an example, with the increase in say, I already told you the example. If you are having 100 rupees and the price of pen is say 10 rupees, then you can purchase 10 pens. That is your real income, purchasing power. And now if the price of that pen increases from 10 to 20, now you can purchase only 5 pens from 100 rupees. That is, with the increase in price of the pen, your purchasing power decrease. Earlier you were able to purchase 10 pens, now you are able to purchase only 5 pens, so your purchasing power decreases. Now with the increase in the price of pen, some of the consumers, they will substitute pencil or any other say close substitute of that pen. They will purchase that commodity. That is substitution effect because of increase in price. So income effect. Now let us discuss income effect. When the price of commodity increases, the purchasing power of consumer decreases, and when the price of commodity decreases, the real income or the purchasing power of a consumer increases, so he can purchase more. That is why demand increase with the decrease in price. Same example, 100 rupees, you are having 100 rupees and the price of pen is 10, you can purchase 10 units. Now the price decreases from 10 to 5, you can purchase 20 units. So demand increase because your purchasing power increase. That's income effect. Now substitution effect. When the price of commodity decreases, remember this thing, when the price of commodity decreases, so some of the people who were consuming any other substitute good, they will move to the consumption of that very good, and that will increase the demand for the commodity. If the price of the commodity increases, when there is increase in the price of commodity, some of the consumers will shift from the consumption of this commodity to the substitute good. That will lead to the decrease in the demand. Size of consumer group. With the decrease in income, with the decrease in price of the commodity, the more people will purchase that commodity, the size of consumer group will increase. That will lead to the increase in demand. If the price decreases, then some of the people will stop consuming the commodity, then the demand for the commodity will decrease. Different use of a commodity. If a commodity is having number of uses, let us take an example of electricity. We can use electricity in factories, we can use electricity for cooking as well, we can use electricity for air conditioning as well, we can use electricity for lighting as well. If the price of electricity increases, so people will use it for necessary purposes only. If the price of the electricity per unit it decreases, people will prefer to use electricity more. Simple, you can have a simple example. Whenever in summer season, if you will be provided free electricity or you will be provided electricity at lower rates, each and everyone will use ACs in their homes for air conditioning, for cooling purposes. If the price per unit of electricity it is charged, if the price is very high, then people will use fans only. They will use it for lighting purpose only because the price of electricity is high. So when a commodity is having different uses, with the increase in price, the demand for that commodity decrease, and with the decrease in price, the number of uses increase, so the demand for that commodity increase. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.